I'm recording. Mm. Yes, the family court, a video court, state court, a federal court, evidence. Mm. Yes, mm. Okay, hold on. Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, I had my own money. Mm. When I met a girl, and she said her name was April Williams, she was using a birth certificate of April 30th, 1986. Yes. How old was I? I was 16 years old. How old was she? She was 14 years old. This what I this what they said, you know. Mm. No, I wasn't having sex at all with anyone. No, I never did. Yes, I told her that. Mm. Yes, I told her that I never had sex with anyone. Yes, it was people on the phone. The phone number was 205-780-4042, and it said Patricia Williams on the caller ID. Yes, the other phone number that it was calling from was I don't know the phone number, but it was the same area code 205. But the name on the caller ID said R.L. Hicks. Yes, it said HICKS. Hicks. Mm. Yes, the different people would say that they were having sex with different people. One of them said it was the R.L. Hicks phone number. One of them said that they were that they had sex with some dude named Pete Gray or something, and they said he was grown and she was a child or something. And you know, one of the people said, "Don't say that," you know. And I was like, why would you tell her not to say that if she was telling the truth? Like, it seems like if she was supposed to tell her to not be having sex with the grown people if she was a child. And it seems like the grown people was not supposed to be having sex with the children if the grown people was grown. And if she was telling me the truth, it seemed like she was supposed to tell me the truth. Yeah, they was. It's just like with the birth certificate and the Social Security. They was all saying that their name was April Williams or something. I don't know if they was saying that stuff to be mean, or if they was trying to make her look bad, or if they was trying to make me like somebody else or something. I don't really know. That is the crazy part about it. Looking back on it, it seemed like some other man or some other person had planned something about, I don't know, something I don't like or something I don't do or something. Mm. Yes, I had my own house when I was 18 years old. And I had my own car when I was 18 years old. Mm. Yeah, they said that I was gonna get money from a trust fund. It was like $10,000 when I was 19 years old. You know, because the people that they had gave the money to, they had stole my money. So when I was 18 years old, I had got a car. Yeah, because they had wanted me staying at that house at 2501 20th Street, but I didn't do that. When I got the car, I left. First chance I got to get out of there because at 2501 20th Street, Inslee, Birmingham, Alabama, even some lady that was saying her name was Yolanda Johnson, and you know, she had did all of that mean bad stuff to me. So it was like, yeah, it made sense for me to leave that house the first chance that I get and never look back. hmm So I went to a house on Avenue F. And yeah, I had a house. Yeah, and yeah, that's when the girl, she was supposed to be 16 because I was 18, and she was staying with me. hmm And some dude was there. They said his name was Zach or Bobby or Steve or something like that. They wanted me getting in the bed with them or doing sex stuff with them, and they were saying that she wanted to have sex with his nephew, or it was some dark skinned dude with some dreads and stuff. And I don't know if they were saying that stuff to be mean or not or whatever, but I never really questioned it or whatever. And I didn't go with those other guys getting in the bed or doing sex stuff with them or any of that stuff. I just moved from the house. I moved from the house, and then I had moved to a house on Avenue I. Mm. And yeah, she was with me then. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was the same way. Yeah, yeah. It was the same way when I went there. It was like, yeah, it was like some weird people doing stuff that I didn't do. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move to another house. So I had moved to a house in East Thomas. Yeah, yeah. That was what you call rooming houses. Those houses where like they give you a room. Yeah, because like when it's just two people, like me and my girlfriend, or me being a husband and her being a wife, you would only need like one room. It's just I wasn't having sex, and it wasn't a chance of her being pregnant or getting pregnant. Yeah, it was three houses. It was a house on Avenue F in Inslee. It was a house on Avenue I in Inslee. And it was a house in, they call it like the East Thomas Forestdale area, in the 205 Birmingham area. Yeah. Yeah, and I had told her that she didn't have to work or that she didn't have to go to school or any of that stuff. Because, since it was supposed to be about being married, and it is about being married, and stuff like that, weighty stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I say stuff like that, what I'm saying is that, being married, making sure that the rent is paid or the bills is paid or however it works. And if you had a car or something, I owned my car. It was a 1990 Jeep Cherokee. And I had let her and the other girls drive the car. No, it wasn't the other girls that looked it like her because I didn't even know that it was other girls, that looked it that way. It's just that it was other girls that she said was like her sister or her cousin or her sister and her cousin, and they looked like way different from each other because one of them was like fat, and one of them was like way different skin color, and one of them was like short or something, and some of them was like, I don't really know like what kind of gender or sexuality they identify themselves as, but no, I never tried having sex with any of them. I never even tried having sex with my wife or the girl that was using the birth certificate of April 30th, 1986. Because, being about being married and stuff. And then she said something about waiting till she was 17. Yeah, she said she was gonna wait until she was 17 for having sex. She was talking to me. It wasn't because I asked her about having sex. No. She was just telling me about how she feel. Because when being in the car and going back and forth in different places, she would be telling me stuff about, that she went this place or that place and this place, and then these people was doing this and those people was doing that and this and that, and then she did this and that and all of this kind of stuff or whatever, and that's why she don't want to do none of this stuff. Like she don't even want to have sex, or if she rather wait until she like 17. I'd be like, what's so special about 17? She never really said why. It was just, I don't know, it seemed like it was just a number she picked or something. I'm not really that smart and stuff. Why didn't I make her stay? Well, it's not my job making her stay with me. If she said she wanted to go to school, then it was her body and her choice. Why didn't I make her go to work? It wasn't my job of making her go to work. If she said that she wanted to go to work, then it's her body and her choice. And if she said she didn't want to go to work, it's her body and her choice. I never made anyone go to work. No. Yeah, one of the girls, that's because that's how I would have to say it, since they're not sure whose birth certificate or social security. No, one of the girls that was using her birth certificate or social security number and was saying her name was April Williams. Um, She had ran out the house at 2715 Avenue E East one day, and she was like, she don't never want to go back there anymore. She was like, they nasty, and then they be having sex with each other, and then it's wrong the stuff that they was doing, to me and to those children and other people, and yeah, that's it was sometime during then when the stuff about being married and having sex, and then somebody said they was pregnant and a child. Yeah. hmm exactly. So that's when I was like, pregnant, a child. Wait a minute. And yeah, the different people was talking about going to the housing projects, or the projects is what they call it, or going to Section 8. And I'm like, wait a minute, those places are for single moms and the ones that don't have a husband the way I am, and the ones that don't have, a dad for their children, the way I am, the kind of dad I am, or the kind of husband I am. And since, it's about being married and stuff like that. Yeah. hmm I went and got an apartment at 402 May Circle, Warrior, Alabama, apartment 402. Mm-hmm. It was the year of 2004. And yet it was before the graduation of 2004. Because the girl that was saying her name was April Williams had a high school diploma from Ensley High School. Because, I took her to school every day, you know, because since they said a woman's right to choose. Exactly. That's what the other people were saying. They were saying I could have been having sex with her every day since I was 16 years old or something. And they said I'm a fool because I took her to school and other people was doing stuff or with her or with other people. And, I would always be like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And it was like, I'm stupid or something like that. It was like, if she could have been staying at the house with me when she was 16 years old, 17 years old, and since she, they said that the girl was pregnant anyway, and she ended up graduating. Yeah, because she was pregnant when she graduated high school. Yeah, it was in the month of May. So yeah, it was after April 30th too. So it was like, me being a husband, I have a marriage license. And when the girl said she was pregnant, I had a marriage license when she graduated high school in 2004. And yeah, I was at the graduation. Mm. But yeah, it was the same apartment when I told her she didn't have to work because, you know, being a husband, I had an apartment at 402 May Circle, apartment 402 in Warrior, Alabama, hmm in the month of May of 2004. hmm It was the same apartment where I told her she didn't have to work at, and she didn't have any job or any kind of income coming in from anywhere during that time of August 31st when the child was born, or during the time when I first moved in of May and stuff, because it wasn't about money and it wasn't about sex. It's not about money. It's not about sex. It's not about what she does for me. It's about me being a husband. Because you wouldn't want anyone saying that he was using her for her money or he was using her for. Yeah, yeah, exactly. They were like, and that's why I moved this so far away because since those people were being abusive and stuff like that, yeah, hmm it would be evidence of me trying to not be around the abusive, bad people that, when a person is a certain way and you don't want to be around them because they just wanted to do bad sex stuff and stuff like that. hmm Yeah, it was the same apartment where I told the girl that she didn't have to work because it's the same address on the birth certificate of July 18th, 2006. The same address is 402 May Circle, Warrior, Alabama, apartment 402. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, because looking back on it, it was like, I'm not sure if it was the same person, each time because when I look back at the pictures, like yeah, the girls that was using the birth certificate of April 30th, 19, they look like different people even then. So maybe I was kind of stupid or whatever. But yeah, they said me being a husband, it has nothing to do with me being a husband, what the other people did, because since I made sure they had somewhere to stay, my wife would be glad knowing that, oh, he thought it was me. Oh, he thought it. So when he thought that she was pregnant, he made sure it was the place to stay before the child was born. Oh, so when he said that he didn't want any more children after August 31st, oh, he thought it was me. So when another child was born July 18th, 2006, he still stayed and he thought it was me and made sure they had a place to stay. They would say that's how my wife talked. And it was like, so since it was one, yeah, since it was supposed to be an apartment for one child, that's when I had moved. And yeah, they said that, yeah, they said something about sudden infant death syndrome. Sometimes stuff like that happen when a child like is about 2 years old. And since he was like the first child and, being a first time dad, since I didn't know about that kind of stuff, yeah, I took the child to the hospital in the month of October of 2006. And that's how a family court case got started. It said needed supervision. Yeah, I had got another house, yeah, because it was a lady named Camilla Harris. She was the caseworker, Miss Harris. And I had a house in Eastlake, Alabama. hmm Yeah, it was a house. I had so many different houses, that I paid the rent and stuff like that. It was like, yeah, it's really no excuse because it was like if I had all of those houses and each time the family court did a home evaluation, they said that it was nothing wrong with the places I was staying at when they was doing, the home evaluations at the family court. It was like, it seemed like it might have been different girls because, me being a husband, it would have made more sense for her to just stay at home with the children and brag on her husband. It was like, yeah, it was like they think it was a different girl because it was like, why wasn't she saying all of this stuff if it's evidence in the family court? They was like, them seemed like different girls and they wanted somebody else getting credit for something else or something. I'm not really sure. It was like, yeah, it was like, you have evidence of it. It was like, yeah, it was, yeah, yep, Carmilla Harris, yep, Miss Harris. I had a house in East Lake. Yep. Well, they said that some other man or some other woman wanted the girl to work or wanted. They said they wanted me looking like a deadbeat dad, like staying in that house at 2501 20th Street, pretending that those people were a family and stuff instead of, and I was like, no, I'm not finna do that. Like, those are the people, they abused and molested me and did all of this stuff. Yeah, I went and got my own house and all of that stuff. And yeah, they was like, well, then they not gonna let you get the children or whatever. Then they gonna take your children and you gonna look like a loser, like you ain't got your. And they was like, no, no, Brandon, no, Brandon. That's what they told me. He was like, I won't look like a loser for something that some other man did or some other person did or some other people at the court did. But they was like, they would have to explain why they did what they did. Since I wasn't the person that wrote the court order, and since I wasn't the person that made those judgments, and since I wasn't the person that put children in cages, and since I wasn't the person that pulled the guns on moms on October 6th, 2008, it was like the people that did that stuff would look bad. And then I don't have to go to family court at all because it was like something about a woman knows and a lady knows and a girl knows. And there was a link in the video of, it seems like a female on the phone. I don't know what people identify themselves as these days, but it was like the mom can go to the family court and say all of this stuff that I'm saying, and she could say those different people were using the same birth certificate and the same social security number and the same marriage license. And the birth certificate said April 30th, 1986. And the marriage license says April 30th, 2004. And I always had my own place before, yeah, before the children and all that stuff. And it was like, yeah, it's not because of them or the people that she called her family or their family, those other people, whether they say they're the Williams or the Johnson people. It was like, you know, yeah, it was like, yeah, because it was like she moved in with me. And if all of those different people had moved in with me at different times and stuff, it's not my fault for being stupid, but if they chose like being prostitutes for some kind of pimp, whether he was a pastor or a police officer or a preacher or whatever he was or is, then people said, I don't have to feel bad for the choices that they made because they might not even be my wife. And if my wife knows about any of this stuff, she might be mad at them because they sexually abused me. If they were having sex with me and getting pregnant and having children, then it was like all of that is sex abuse that was done to me. And if my wife knows about it, it was like my wife might be very angry and mad about this stuff because it's like, what if that's not even her name? Stuff like that. But it was like my wife would be glad for me because being a husband on August 31st, 2004, I was there being a husband and being a dad for some mom. On July 18th, 2006, I was there being a husband and being a dad for some. And on October 6th, 2008, 8, I was there being a husband and being a dad for some, so it was, uh, October 6, 2008, July 18, 2006, and August 31st, 2004. I was there being a husband and a dad for someone that was using the birth certificate of April 30th, 1986. And I told her she didn't have to work and that she didn't have to go to school to do any of that stuff. So, it's not my fault, if some other man or some other woman or the sex some other man had or the sex some other women had or whatever kind of sex training or hyena or sex parties that other people wanted to do. I'm not part of it. And they said, yeah, it's not my fault if someone else had bad ideas. And it's not my fault if other people chose listening to those bad ideas and they had sex the way other people wanted them to have and did what other people wanted them to do. Because the family court says I have children and I never asked for a blood test. I never asked for a paternity test. I never asked for a DNA test. And I always trust my wife. Because if any of those girls are not my wife and it's sex abuse what they did to me, my wife might be very